So today I'm gonna share with you things that made me love my locks even more over time. So the first thing is just naturally already having a hairstyle in. It's like the main thing you think about is your outfit, but then you already naturally have a hairstyle, if that makes any sense. So obviously you can put your locks into your own personal hairstyle, but it just made me realize like, wait, I just naturally have a hairstyle no matter what I do. I just have locks overall. So that definitely made me love my locks even more because it just made things a bit easier. Looking at old pictures or videos, I definitely recommend doing that if you are like a couple months into your journey or a couple of years and you haven't seen like any old pictures or videos. I recommend doing that again because you'll just like feel excitement and be like, oh my gosh, like my locks actually grew, because sometimes we don't notice it, but when you look at videos or pictures, you're like, oh shit, wait, my locks actually, my locks actually grew a couple inches, So I do recommend that, but that is definitely one of the things that made me love my locks even more. It also really helps trusting the process too, because you see the growth and that it actually does change. So yeah, it helps really trusting the full on process of just having locks. Also, seeing other people with locks online really help because one, they share their lock journey, but then you also see like, oh, this is what their locks look like. It's like inspiring, like, oh shit, I really want to get that length, or oh, I look forward to being able to do those hairstyles, So it's like different things, seeing different ways of people styling their locks, different ways of people taking care of their locks. It's like inspiring, and just you're part of a community. So that really definitely helped me love my locks even more. How my locks looked a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, because I've been on my locks for about 2 years. So maybe this year I'll show, last year, the year before. So yeah, so you can also see how my locks have changed. What also really helped was I started seeing myself in like a more natural way and just wanting to do things more naturally, if that makes any sense. Like just being able to just express myself with my locks out, because I used to have like braids for years, like extensions for years and years, and now it's just like being into the whole natural vibe. It's just really fun because before I even had locks, I had a little bit of a fro, so that was very enjoyable because I've done like so many styles. I don't even feel like I'm stuck with locks, because I've tried everything. Well, not everything, but most things. I nearly went bald. That was an interesting time. I mean, as in not that I was balding, but that I chose to like really shave my head. Another thing also, which I think is what makes having locks so different to any other natural hairstyle, is realizing that your locks or your hair overall still looks good without it being perfectly neat. When I used to have braids, I would want it to be perfectly neat. Like when I would see like, oh, it's growing out, it's like, oh shit, it's not neat anymore. It's not perfect anymore. It doesn't look good anymore. It's time for a new braiding style. You know, having cornrows sometimes, like, okay, yeah, it's in for too long now. When I would have like my fro and would want to put it in a little style, it would still be like, it would have to be perfectly neat, combed back with gel and everything. So it's like, wow, with having locks, it's like if you haven't had a retwist in a little while, your locks can still look good. Of course, take care of them, but they can still look good. Something else that really helped too is realizing how versatile locks are. I know when it's very short, it's a bit less versatile, but that's why you gotta stick it through, because the longer it gets, the more you will realize, like, oh, this is versatile. Like, you can do half up, half down, you can do bantu knots, you can curl your locks, you can even curl them when they're really short, which is very cute. I've seen videos like that. I also make a lot of lock style videos in my TikTok. On my TikTok, if you want to check that out, uh, I'll put it in the description below. But yes, the versatility of locks also really made me love my locks even more. Realizing that I can do even more, and just also having an open mind is very important. If you don't have an open mind and you're very sticky or very specific with the type of styles you want, it's gonna make everything a bit harder. And a really cool thing is that no one's locks look the same. There might be some similarities with some people's locks, but literally every single person has different type of locks. Even if it's the same length, it looks totally different. Even if it's the same thickness, it is totally different. Which is why I love being in a room with full of people with locks, because everyone's locks is so different and it just suits the way they are, or their face, or everything. It just suits, so that's really, really cool. Um, it's like you can't even judge your own locks because it makes you you. Like your locks are literally you, So I feel like that is just such a beautiful thing about having locks. It's like no one has the same thing. But if you would have to your throw out and would put it in the exact same style as someone else, it would look the exact same. If you had the same length and same texture of hair, it could look quite very, maybe not exactly the same, but very, very similar. But locks is like, oh, it's just so different. Okay, so story time, right? I used to have, well, I've had, this is my third set of locks. Yeah. And I kind of messed up my locks. Well, the first set of locks wasn't my fault. The second set of locks was my fault. So the first time I had locks, they grew nicely, beautifully. My first time, right? I was in love. But then what happened was I was at school. I don't even know what moment. Like this was 10 years ago. I was about 10 or 11, and sometimes like I don't know what moment it was, but my locks got cut by some people in my class, and I didn't know. It was a very sad thing because then my locks became uneven at the back. So what I then chose to do was to just take them out. I didn't cut them or anything. I believe I just combed them out. That was the first time, which was actually quite sad because it wasn't my fault. It was a lot of jealousy around that time at school, so that was part of it too. That was the first set. My second set was my fault. I yeah, I tried doing maintenance on them a couple times. I thought I had it. I thought I knew, right? But I would do the maintenance because my locks were quite soft. My hair's quite soft, so um, I would like do the maintenance, and I would do them a bit too tight to the point where over time my locks became more and more skinny. So of course, if there are skinny parts, it will break off, which is exactly what happened. Like parts of my locks started breaking off, which of course again made them uneven. It was very skinny, very short. I did not look nice. Those are the pictures I do not like looking back at because honestly, I started to look like a boy a little bit. I started to look a little scruffy, which wasn't great because that's not the type of person I am. So I took them out again. I just did cornrows, did braids, did whatever I wanted to do. Then a couple years later, maybe 4 years later, I think, yeah, because that happened. My second set happened at the age of 16, I think, or 15, I'm not too sure. But a couple years later, that's when I started these sets of locks, and that was at the age of, well, I've had them 2 years now, so I started at the age of 18 with these locks. This time I was like, I'm not touching them. My mom was like, I will do them because mom was also a loctician. She was like, I will do your locks. So I just let her do the locks eventually, only till I think this start of this year or end of last year. That's when I started doing my locks alone, bit by bit. I started doing just the roots because you cannot really do, well, you can do too tight on the roots, but it didn't really affect my locks. So I was like, okay, let me not do it too tight. Eventually, I started to understand it a bit more and more. Then eventually, I started being able to do maintenance, and now I don't do them too skinny. So as you can see, they are totally fine now. Now, of course, after the two first sets, my goal now is to just keep growing them. Like I'm nearly at a length that is the longest that I've had my locks be. So that is very exciting. I'm not letting anything happen to them again, and I just want them to my waist, like past my butt. Even that's like the goal to have my locks. So yeah, join me on this journey of reaching butt length locks. And the last thing is not comparing my locks to other people with locks. Only comparing my locks to my past locks, my locks from a year ago, months ago, you know, not comparing it to other people because, again, like before, Everyone has their own style of locks. Everyone's got different texture. It doesn't make sense for me to compare my locks to someone who's got kinky 4C, intensely curly hair when my locks are much looser than that, for example. Or compare my locks to someone who's got 1A, or I don't even know what the numbers are, whatever it means, but very loose hair, or even someone with straight hair. Doesn't make any sense to do that. So that has helped me love my locks so much more, to not compare and to just be in love with myself, actually. Just be in love with myself, be in love with my hair, everything. Just focus on me, you know? So those are the things that have made me love my locks even more. There's probably more things. If I find more things, might have to make a part two, but these are all the things that have made me love my locks even more. And I hope these are things that could help you love your locks even more, maybe to implement them or to just realize in the moment, like, oh, okay, wait, that makes sense. And also, of course, like and subscribe to stay updated with my upcoming videos. Thank you very much. I will see you guys in the next one.